given to him. And so chapter 10, verse 1, then Samuel took a flask of olive oil, and he poured it on Saul's head and kissed him, saying, "Has not the Lord anointed you ruler over his inheritance?" And do you guys remember the word? What is the word for what he just did? Anointing him with the oil, pouring it on his head, and then kissing him. And it's not a word that's here, but it's the idea of Messiah, of pouring, smearing, anointing. So Saul, and I don't know if you've ever considered this before, but both Saul and David and Solomon are messiahs by virtue of the word. To smear, to anoint, that's the idea of a Messiah. So here Saul is being made Israel's Messiah, in the sense of being anointed to do something, which is to be king. Has not the Lord anointed you ruler over his inheritance? Now, when you leave me today, you will meet two men near Rachel's tomb at Zelzah on the border of Benjamin, and they will say to you, the donkeys that you set out to look for have been found, and now your father has stopped thinking about them and is worried about you. He is asking, "What shall I do about my son?" Then you will go on from there until you reach the great tree of Tabor. 3 men going up to worship God at Bethel will meet you there. One will be carrying 3 young goats, another 3 loaves of bread, and another a skin of wine. They will greet you and offer you 2 loaves of bread, which you will accept from them. After that, you will go to Gibeah of God, where there is a Philistine outpost. And as you approach the town, you will meet a procession of prophets coming down from the high place, which is a whole really cool conversation, with lyres, timbrels, pipes, harps being played before them, and they will be prophesying. The Spirit of the Lord will come powerfully upon you, and you will prophesy with them, and you will be changed into a different person. Once these signs are fulfilled, do whatever your hand finds to do, for God is with you. Go down ahead of me to Gilgal. I will surely come down to you to sacrifice burnt offerings, fellowship offerings, but you must wait 7 days until I come to you and tell you what you are to do. So verse 9, as Saul turned to leave Samuel, God changed Saul's heart, and all of these signs were fulfilled that day. So this is what Saul is told to do. Obviously, he's going to go do this prophesying, which he does with the prophets. Then he is to go to Gibeah, where there's a Philistine outpost. And what is he essentially told to do? To be still. Go to this place. All of these things are going to happen, but you wait for me to come. I will offer the sacrifice. I will not only offer the sacrifice, I will come, offer the sacrifice, and then I will give you instructions on what you are to do. Those were the instructions that Samuel gives to Saul. So then when we fast forward to chapter 13, how old was Saul whenever he became king? He was 30 years old, which means if you do the math, how old is he when he and Jonathan die on the battlefield? You ever thought about that? I'm just now kind of processing this. When Saul dies, how old is he? 72. Is that the right math? So he's 30 years old now and he became king. And he dies on the battlefield, if I'm doing the right math, and if I'm not like over-literalizing this. And he's 40, he reigned for 42 years. He and Jonathan both died on the battlefield. Isn't that right? Yeah. So would he be 72 when he's on the battlefield? Is that accurate?
If dying ended his reign, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So you got a 72-year-old man, head of Israel, on the battlefield. Anyway, I've never thought through that before. So Saul chooses, and I know most of you already know this, but there's so many very interesting things in terms of numbers with 40. You know, Jesus in the wilderness for 40. And here you find the 3 kings of Israel, each ruled for 40 years. Does anybody have another translation besides NIV? How long does it say that he reigned? Does everybody say 42? Or some say 40? 13 verse 1. I guess I could look at my other translations here. that would be easier to do. Let's see, the ESV says, okay. Oh.
First, did you say?
Oh no, that's really weird.
Chapter
13 verse 1.
So the King James says Saul reigned 1 year, and when he had reigned 2 years over Israel.
Yeah, that's what the ESV says too. Legacy says, okay, Legacy has 30 years old when he became king. That is odd. I mean, that's a completely different reading. That's interesting. I'm just going to go to the King James, the one that really, sorry. I shouldn't have said that out loud. I should have kept that in my head. Do what?
The thou guy.
I'm the thou guy now. That's right.
What you should have done.
Okay. So Saul chooses 3,000 men from Israel. 2,000 were with him at Michmash and in the hill country of Bethel. You guys remember what the word Bethel means? House of God. El is God or power. No. Anyway, doesn't matter. And 1,000 were with Jonathan at Gibeah, and Benjamin were back in 13. And the rest of the men he sent back to their homes. And so Jonathan attacked the Philistine outpost at Gibeah. Philistines heard about it, and then Saul had his trumpet blown throughout the land and said, "Let the Hebrews hear." So Israel heard the news, and Saul had attacked the Philistine outpost, and now Israel had become obnoxious to the Philistines. And the people were summoned to join Saul at Gilgal. So up to this point, before we get to verse 5, how's it going for Israel and Saul? According to this narrative. Seems to be going pretty good. We're having quite a bit of success. And in fact, whatever this word obnoxious is in the Hebrew, they seem to be doing well, both Jonathan and Saul and Israel's army. Doing well.
New International uses the word stench.
What's that?
You're using the word obnoxious. The New
Oh.
International says stench.
Which New International do you have?
This one.
No.
The one that's in all the pigs.
Oh, okay. I'm really not being obnoxious like I normally am.
Revised New International.
No, that's not what I'm. Because there's a 78, there's an 83, I think. Yeah, 73, 78, and 84. Okay. The reason I'm making a big deal is because mine's NIV too, but it doesn't say that. So mine may be the 84, and that one may be the 73, 78. I don't know. What other words do you guys have besides obnoxious? And you said stench. Yeah, go ahead.
Going back to
Yeah.
I think the confusion comes because Acts 13 mentions 40 years. That's Saul's
Right.
over 40 years. But First
Right.
Samuel's like this 2 years. So
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
where the confusion comes.
Okay. And there's a dash. You know, it's not like the number 42. There's a
Well, that's why
40
they
dash.
added 40 to it.
Yeah.
into is
Yeah.
probably that one translation you were looking at is probably.
Right. But that's just odd. ESV doesn't say that at all. I mean, it says something completely different.
We got abomination in the King James.
Really? Abomination. Wow. That's interesting. I don't know. I just wouldn't expect for a Hebrew translation and all the processes it goes through over millennia, and we get obnoxious. I mean, how many times do you use the word obnoxious? You know, like daily. You're not allowed to speak. How many times do you use the word obnoxious? I mean, do you have people in your life that are... I've just never seen that word in a biblical text before. So, anyway.
Well, if you drop the OB from obnoxious, you have noxious.
Noxious?
Which is stench.
Oh, okay.
That's the connection for it.
Was that free?
That's-
Well, as like nerdy as I am about words, I haven't looked at obnoxious, so now I need to find out where that comes from. So it's kind of cool. Up to verse 5, Israel's doing quite well, and so I guess one of the reasons I wanted us to look at this today is, when we're doing well and when we're having success and the grass is green and money's in the bank and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You're doing well at your job and your kids are doing well. And do we find a lot of reason to be thankful and grateful and contemplate the idea that, success is happening because we are doing the right things, those kind of things. And Israel's doing well. And, even up to this point, Saul hasn't necessarily asked God of anything. But Israel's doing very, very well up to this point. He is their new king. He's 30 years old. We don't know what he's like emotionally. He may be a child, but he's 30 and he's king. So verse 5, in response to this, the last part of verse 4, people were summoned to join Saul at Gilgal, which is what Samuel told him to do. The Philistines assembled, and I don't know, I could just only imagine watching 3,000 chariots, 2 per chariot, soldiers as numerous, so there's just a ton of people in this army. And going up and camping at Michmash, east of Beth-aven. I wish I'd gotten a map for you guys and put it up there. When the Israelites saw that their situation was critical, so why would they now think their situation is critical as opposed to the success that they were having before? What changed, do you think? Was it just the eyeball, the visual of it? All these people coming at them? Did they not believe that God had given them success that they had had up to this point? What has changed? So when the people saw this, their situation was critical and that their army was hard-pressed, it just seems to me that what has happened before, in verse 3 and 4, they apparently thought that was them doing it and not God with them. Because now their eyeballs are telling them that they're in trouble. Their situation's critical. Their army was hard-pressed. So they go and hide in caves and thickets among rocks and in pits and cisterns. And whether Saul is seeing this or he's hearing about it, his confidence level is decreasing very quickly. Some Hebrews even crossed the Jordan to the land of Gad and Gilead. So Saul is losing men at a great rate. So Saul remains in Gilgal, and all the troops that were with him were quaking with fear. Again, kind of like what's about to happen with the Philistines with Goliath in 16. But Samuel did not come to Gilgal, and Saul's men began to scatter. And so Saul says, what he understands as a plan isn't happening. And we're about to be completely trashed by these Philistines. So he says, forget Samuel's plans, forget God's plans, bring me the burnt offering, fellowship offering, So he gets ahead of the curve. He gets ahead of the plans. Finished doing all this. So what do you think Saul's plans were? What was he trying to do ultimately? And not so much in terms of win the battle and all those kind of things. What was he getting ahead of with this sacrifice? Because after Samuel was going to do the sacrifice, what was then going to happen from chapter 10? After he does the sacrifice, he then says, after the sacrifice, I will tell you what to do. I will tell you how to operate what's going to go forward. So it seems like for Saul, Samuel's not going to be, I'll do the sacrifice. And then I can figure out what God wants me to do. After this happens, in verse 13, what does Samuel call Saul's actions? He tells him they are foolish. And you have not kept the command of the Lord your God that he gave you. And notice this very interesting statement. If you would have done this, then the Lord would have established your kingdom over Israel for all time. You would have not only kept your position, God would have been with you, and your kingdom would have been great. And so, with about the last 10 minutes we have today, one of the reasons I think this is important is because it really has nothing to do with the battle. And it has nothing to do with what's happening with the Philistines. What is the problem here that Saul is having? What did he do wrong?
Didn't trust the plan.
He didn't trust. His character was shown to be flawed. He didn't trust the plan. And if he had just sat there and said, this is what I was told to do, and I don't care if it's another 2 days, I'm going to wait for Samuel, because it's not because it was Samuel's instructions. This is what the Lord says. You wait for me, I will do the sacrifice, then I will tell you how to move forward from there, what you're going to do after that. That's why it's a foolish thing. The sacrifice wasn't the foolish thing. It was the fact that he couldn't be still. Couldn't be calm. And he didn't have confidence and trust and faith in the instructions that God gave him. And as a result, he got ahead of the line. He did the sacrifice. He essentially said, I don't trust God's plan. Which sounds kind of cliche. That's what it was. And if you're not going to trust me as your God, I'm going to take the kingdom away from you. Your kingdom will not endure.
I think it goes deeper than that, because he was usurping authority that was not given.
Yes, it was not his.
It was
Yep.
the priests, it was the Levites that were charged with the sacrifices.
Yeah.
And he's basically taking that on himself now. So he's king and priest.
Right.
God did not appoint him as priest. He did not appoint him as priest. He appointed him as king only.
Yeah. Which you actually brought up a couple of weeks ago, that in Christ you have king, all of it, king, priest, and prophet, seer, so to speak. So I think one of the things I enjoy so much about this story is, when I Psalm 46, and the whole psalm is really cool, but toward the end of it, I believe it's verse 10, gives this idea to be still and know that I am God. And with Saul here, and I don't know Saul's personality, I don't know anything about him other than what we're given in these narratives, is Saul could not be still. He could not stop and remind himself that the victories that we had, at the beginning of the chapter here, that's what Saul said, the victories we had at the beginning of chapter 13. The victories we had are God anyway. I'm not doing this because I'm a great warrior. I'm not doing this because my son is a great warrior. Although those may be the case, the victories we're having, the success we're having, is because the Lord is with us. And so I need to chill. I need to be calm and be still. Be still and know that I am God. And when I do that, I'm going to wait for the priests to do their thing. I'm going to wait for Samuel to arrive. I'm going to wait for the sacrifice to happen. And when that happens, and my heart and my mind are still, then God's going to tell us where to go from here. But if I get ahead of this, I am usurping the priest's duties. I'm usurping God's, well, not even his plan. I'm usurping God's role. This is what God told me to do. And I'm going to say, no, I don't agree with that. I don't like that. That's not a good plan. So as a result of that, Samuel tells Saul, you will not, and notice this too, and yes, this is kind of how my brain works, that in thought, David has already been anointed king. He hasn't been yet, but God's already got him in mind. And at this point, when it states, if you would have trusted God, if you would have been still, and see, it's not just being still like doing nothing. If you would have been still in God's thoughts, in God's journey with you, and trusted him, I would have established your kingdom over Israel for all time. Now, does Saul stop being king here? He doesn't. In fact, he's king for another. Now, depending upon what the timeline is, I don't think he says he started being king 30 years here. But he was king when he was 30, and he was king for 40 years. But wherever this lies, let's say he's 40 now, and this is 10 years in. I don't know. He's still king for another 30 years. So it's not as if he stops here and David starts. In fact, when David is anointed, and I know I've mentioned this a lot, but it still really blows my mind. When David gets anointed as king, he's not king for another 25 years. He's got to wait 2+ decades before he actually becomes king, and a lot of challenges along the way. But at this point, this is Saul's kind of cutting off point. Again, he's got another decade plus before he is actually not king. But he has shown the Lord, I don't trust you. And that's why it's a foolish thing. So one of the lessons coming out of this is, I don't know what your life looks like. I know the times in my life whenever I kind of emotionally hyperventilate, whenever I'm really struggling to be calm. And not so much in terms of daily things, but just with life. And I'm not saying, Lord, I don't trust your plan. It's like, I don't know what's going on. I'm feeling really, really lost. I'm feeling really, really panicky about life. And I don't know what to do. I'm trying to be still. I'm trying to trust in what you have in front of me. And I'm not doing a very good job right now. So what does trust look like for our lives? Yeah.
I was just going to ask you a kind of related question.
Yeah.
What could Saul have done?
Good question.
What would he have done that would have showed?
Yeah.
Because what you're dealing with here, and we deal with it in our daily lives, is the tyranny of the urgent. Something
Yes.
that's very pressing. It's
Pressing right in front of you.
But then there are other things that are very important.
Yes.
These are things that have to be done. These are very
Yeah.
important.
Yep.
This is urgent.
Yeah.
And Saul's caught in between those two.
Yeah.
He knows
Yeah.
the importance of God. I believe he knows the importance of following God's commands.
Yeah.
The Philistines are breathing down his neck.
Right there. Yeah.
So, what could Saul have done?
Yeah. And to that point, that's why I find this so interesting, is I think theologically, biblically, we can look at this like we actually look at the Jews overall. Why didn't you believe in the Messiah? Why couldn't you see Jesus? He's right there in front of you. And how differently would we have responded to Jesus being in front of us as thick in the weeds Jews? And a lot of people that I've met over the years, and this is making a huge judgment about people's hearts, which I'm not good at making. Most of the people that I've met, they're not following Jesus. Because the problem the Jews had, a lot of them, was What do you think? I know we're kind of out of time, but what do you think the problems a lot of the Jews at the time had? Why didn't they go, yeah, this Jesus guy, man, plugged in?
Jesus wasn't there yet.
What's that? No, not here in the first century, when he was there.
I'm trying to put myself in their shoes, right? Because I don't think many people, even today, look outside and like the clouds part and they see God. Like that's not.
Yeah.
It's like it's much more subtle than that.
Yeah.
I mean, like the grand organization of the world and stuff like that is evidence enough to me. But I can see that divine revelation hasn't really been experienced by most people. And the only reason I'm saying that is because it's so hard to look around in my day and kind of like, do you kind of get, I'm struggling to make this point here. It's not like God is out there blowing a trumpet in my ear.
Right.
You know?
Which
It's very easy to get tunnel vision on the thing directly ahead.
Oh yeah.
Try as we might, and like as much as we try to remind ourselves that there's a bigger purpose. And so I can imagine the people of that time were probably subject to some of the same things we did here.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. He came quietly. He was born in a manger.
Yeah. Very quietly.
Really that guy.
Very quietly. Yeah. Which
It was hearsay.
What's that?
Most everything they knew was from hearsay.
Yeah.
versus
Yeah.
direct.
Oral culture. Yeah.
People who did see were like, this is,
Yeah.
many cases, not everybody.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah,
people-
and in fact, the lesson we're going to look at today during our worship time, with not specifically Jairus' daughter, we're not going to look at that, but Jairus going to Jesus, and Jesus was like, "Hey, what do you think about me?" And he's like, "Dude, all you got to do is say the word, and she's healed. It's good." I'm like, "Whoa," So
I gotta say though, Jesus, when Peter makes this great confession, Jesus says, blessed are you, Peter. This was not revealed to you by man.
right,
This was revealed to you by the Father in heaven.
Father in heaven.
And
Yep.
so, God revealed to certain people. In fact, Jesus refers to them as the people you have given me.
Yeah. True.
So
Great point.
There were certain
Yeah.
here, God opened up their hearts, their minds
Yeah.
to the notion
Yeah.
that Jesus was Messiah.
Well, and even after the resurrection, it states whatever those words are, he opened up their mind to kind of process, what is happening.
It's kind of a testament to the lesson in and of itself, the fact that naturally people came to see it was the way, even without having been told. In certain cases. In certain
Yeah.
cases it was directly revealed, but the fact that this natural truth of what Jesus is,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
people came to understand of their own without having
Yeah.
been told.
Yeah. Kind
It's
of
kind of a testament.
the authenticity of what was happening. Yeah. Well, I like the point you made earlier is, and I think sometimes that's a challenge we have, is we just get such, natural human tunnel vision. We get so engaged and involved in what's happening in front of us. And, to that point, what is Saul looking at visibly? He's looking at this massive army coming his way. And again, when I bring up Elisha and his servant in Kings, Elisha gets up and looks at it and is like, we got Yahweh. His servant gets up and freaks out. We're dead. We're done. And so Elisha has to elevate him. I don't know if you call it his faith. He has to elevate his perspective. Say, God, could you show him what's going on? And the servant sees it and he's like, oh, we're good. We're good. And in this moment, Saul does not have that elevation. He sees what's in front of him and he freaks. And he says, okay, forget the priest, forget everything. We're going to do the sacrifice now. We're going to get God's direction now. Because whatever God said, we're gonna push up that timeline. Because his vision could only see what was in front of him. And I think it's a very natural thing for all of us.
Well, there's one other thing, too.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, myself included, make this mistake, is a lot of people fall into this trap of thinking of God as if I can hold this book of God as like a physical thing here.
Yeah.
When it is so much more than that. And because we do that, we assign human thought processes to him.
Oh yeah, very much so.
You know, like,
Yeah.
oh God, did you
We
see
personify
this
him.
thing? You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
that's-
We there's a word that I really like, but it's really hard to say. Oh yeah, echoing. We I'm not gonna say this right. Anthropomorphize God. I actually said that right. Yeah, we literally subscribe to God human qualities. And so whenever we see the army coming, we have bills mounting, we have kid issues, sickness, whatever it is, and we ascribe, instead of ascribing to God His holiness and His honor, we're like, maybe God's worried about this too. Maybe God's freaking out like I am. And so He's going to act like I am, and there's going to be a trust issue and blah, 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 as opposed to seeing Him as Yahweh. Yeah, Carol.
I think today, anyway, like in my case, sometimes I don't wait
Yeah,
for God to give me.
yeah,
You know, we'll pray about something, but we want something. It's like, I want a sign, and
Yeah.
you don't get that.
yeah,
So you jump headlong into
yeah,
doing what you wanted anyway, and
Yeah.
then it doesn't turn out so well.
yeah. Yeah, which is so, you know, Doug, to your question, not so much what could he have done, what was he told to do? He's told to wait, regardless. And so, you know, in a lot of cases today, when things happen and I share some stuff with people, it's like, I either trust God or I don't. And I know it's not always that simple. But for Saul, what were you told to do? Did God get you out of Egypt? Has God helped you with these situations? Has God made you king? You've watched what God has done over the decades as a man, and you were told to wait. So what if he doesn't come till day 8? Is God going to, if you obey what he says, is he going to allow these Philistines to completely overrun you? Is that going to happen? And you have to make those decisions. Either you trust God's plan or I don't. And if I do, I wait. I wait till Samuel shows up and the priests do their thing.
Back, told to wait 7 days.
Yes.
Waited 7 days.
Yes. Yes.
Samuel didn't come yet. So, and I think in Saul's mind, the deal is broken. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's maybe foolish, that's what Samuel says. But you can understand, at least from a human standpoint,
Yes.
why he did the thing he did.
But you know what also interesting, real quick with your thought, it's not only, he waited 7 days, the time set by Samuel, and Samuel did not come, and Saul's men began to scatter. So everything's starting to fall apart. I mean, everything is coming unthreaded. And so in some cases for Saul, you know, I'm king, and I've been anointed. And so I'm gonna show up as a leader, and I'm gonna try and take care of Israel. And again, in verse 13, you have done a foolish thing. What was his foolish thing? And I think that's a good question for us. What was his foolish thing? Not trusting God, period. True, he hadn't come yet for the 7 days, which we could really have a lot of fun with. How long was he told to wait? 7 days, you know, and all the, you know, numeric kind of cool stuff ascribed to the term 7. So, you know, one of the biggest challenges we have as people is being still and knowing that He is God. And it's something we have to consistently work on. I don't think any of us ever are going to get to a time whenever we're like, I'm there, I'm good, I'm just going to chill. Until you see the Philistine army coming, you know, 3,000 chariots, 6,000 charioteers, tons of trained military men on the ground, and you're like, forget the plan, we're changing it now. And then God can kind of alter it along the way, and we're like, yeah, I don't care. I'm shifting now, and I'm getting freaked out. So we all have to work on that. Thanks for your comments.